The alien had trained for years. Every day, it had honed its telepathic gift, reaching deep into the minds of others. It could hear thoughts, feel emotions, and even see memories. Its kind had always admired it for this rare skill. And now, finally, it would face a test no other had ever faced a human. The Council of Elders had gathered, their eyes bright with curiosity. Humans were weak. Everyone said so. Small bodies, fragile skin, untrained minds. They laughed at the idea of one human standing before a telepath and surviving. Yet, there was caution in their voices too. Something about this species made them uneasy. The alien approached the human slowly. Its long fingers stretched out as it prepared to touch the human's mind. This will be easy, it thought. A few seconds, and I will know everything about this fragile creature. The human stood perfectly still. Eyes forward, chest steady, calm. No fear, no trembling. The alien blinked. Humans usually reacted, they panicked, screamed, tried to move. But this one, it was different. The crowd of aliens leaned closer. Many whispered, trying to guess what would happen. Some snickered. Watch, one elder said, this human will break before we even touch it. The alien reached forward. Its mind stretched like a web of light toward the human's consciousness. At first, it felt nothing. The human's mind was quiet. Empty. Fragile, yes, exactly as they had predicted. A simple mind, small thoughts, easy to read. And then, something changed. A pulse of emotion hit the alien like a hammer. It stumbled back, blinking, disoriented. The feelings were intense, raw, unlike anything it had felt before. Pain, loss, rage, hope, love all mixed together in a chaotic storm. It recoiled, trying to pull away, but the human's mind held it tight. The council murmured in shock. No telepath had ever been affected like this. No one could have imagined it. The alien tried to focus, tried to push deeper into the mind, but every second brought more. Images flashed in its vision, cities in flames, oceans rising, entire armies falling and rising again, people dying and surviving. The alien gasped. Its body trembled. Impossible, it thought. No mind can contain so much, so many memories, so much pain. The human's eyes did not move. Calm. Cold. Silent. Yet, inside, they held an ocean of history, suffering, and courage. The alien felt like it was drowning. Every thought, every memory, every emotion crashed against its mind like a tidal wave. For a moment, it thought it could not survive this. Its head spun, and its limbs felt heavy. The alien wanted to retreat, to stop, to let go, but it could not. Something inside the human resisted. Something ancient, something strong. The council watched, wide-eyed, as the alien shook. Whispers became gasps. The human was not ordinary, not fragile, not weak. Something about this species was more terrifying than any weapon, any army. The alien tried to pull back. Pain shot through its head. It screamed silently in its mind, a sound only it could hear. Its body leaned forward, but the human did not move. Its calm stare pierced through the alien's consciousness. Suddenly, a memory hit the alien. Not its own. Not even from the human. It was a vision, bright, flashing, horrifying. A world burning, people running, the screams of thousands, the silence of millions. And yet, in the midst of chaos, humans stood. They rose. They fought. They survived. The alien stumbled, falling to one knee. Something inside it broke. Its mind, trained for years, shattered under the weight of one human mind. Its chest heaved. Its claws shook. Its entire body trembled like never before. The council's laughter had stopped. Silence fell. Even the youngest aliens felt it, fear. Not of the alien on its knees, but of the human before them. The creature had done nothing, said nothing, yet it had broken the strongest telepath in their ranks. The alien's voice came out in a whisper, weak, shaking, impossible. How can one mind hold all this? The human blinked once. That was all. Just a blink. No words, no movement. Yet the weight of its presence filled the hall. The alien could feel the calm power emanating from it. It was not arrogance. Not pride. Just a quiet, terrifying strength. The alien's mind tried one last time to push forward. To understand. But it could not. Every second felt like an eternity. And then, something inside it snapped. The alien screamed a sound that was both horror and shock and collapsed to the ground. Its body trembled uncontrollably. The council froze, unsure if they should help or just watch. This had never happened before. One human, standing still, had defeated one of their greatest telepaths without a weapon, without a word. And the human? Still calm. Still silent. Its presence alone had left an impression no one would ever forget. The alien's eyes widened. I have never, it thought weakly. I have never felt this, in all my years. The crowd realized the truth, slowly dawning on them. Humans were not weak. Humans were something else. Something stronger than any alien had predicted. Something dangerous, terrifying, and impossible to measure. The human took one step forward. The alien whimpered, almost like an animal realizing the predator was not a creature of its size, but of its spirit. And then the human stopped, turned slightly, and looked at the council. Silence filled the room. Everyone knew one thing: the story of the human's mind had only just begun. No one would forget this day. The day a human stood still, and an alien telepath screamed. The alien lay on the cold metallic floor, struggling to regain its balance. Its chest heaved, and sweat ran down its long, thin face. The human stood still, eyes fixed on the alien as if nothing had happened. Calm. Unshakable. Silent. The council whispered among themselves, unable to hide their fear. How could one human mind do this? They thought. One simple, fragile body, and yet it destroyed our greatest telepath. The alien slowly raised its head. Pride burned inside it, even in this broken state. It would not be defeated, at least, not entirely. It had been trained for years, it had faced the minds of countless creatures, and it knew one thing: retreating now would be shameful. With a trembling hand, the alien reached forward again. Not with its body this time, but with its mind. It extended the invisible threads of thought, ready to probe, to read, to dominate. The human did not flinch. The moment the alien touched the human's mind, a shockwave hit it like lightning. Its vision blurred. Its head spun. Images and emotions poured into it with such force that the alien could not process them. Pain. Anger. Love. Fear. Grief. Joy. Rage. Every feeling the alien had ever known, multiplied 1,000 times, exploded inside its mind. It tried to pull away. But the human's consciousness was not just a mind, it was a storm. A storm of countless lifetimes, of battles fought and lost, of people standing when everything else had fallen apart. The alien staggered backward, clutching its head, whispering to itself, "Impossible, impossible. How can one being carry this much?" The council watched, frozen. The youngest aliens gasped. Even the elders, who had seen centuries of war and mind games, could not hide the shock on their faces. The alien's hands shook violently. Its voice, usually confident and sharp, became a weak whisper. No creature should have this much inside. But the human did not speak. Did not flinch. Its calm stare seemed to push back against the alien's mind, forcing it to face every memory, every emotion, every scar stored inside. The alien's thoughts began to fracture. It saw cities burning, oceans rising, and entire armies falling, but the humans stood. Even when all hope was lost, they rose again. And it was not only courage, it was something else, something terrifying. It was endurance. Persistence. A refusal to break. A silent power no alien could understand. The alien screamed, but it was a silent scream, echoing only in its own head. Pain clawed at its brain. Its body trembled as if it had been struck by 1,000 invisible hands. The alien wanted to collapse, to run, to escape, but it could not. It was trapped, tied to the human's mind by invisible threads stronger than any chains. Suddenly, the alien glimpsed a memory that was not its own. A battlefield on a distant planet, flames lighting the night sky. Humans, barely armed, stood against towering machines of war. Explosions shook the ground, and screams filled the air. Yet the humans did not fall. They kept moving, kept fighting, kept surviving. The alien staggered, almost falling to its knees. It had seen courage before, but never like this. These humans carried something more than bravery, they carried the weight of survival itself. Every loss, every scar, every death was part of their strength. The alien's mind tried to escape, to pull away, but it was too late. Another wave of emotions hit it: grief, love, hatred, hope all at once. The alien felt tears forming, though it had never cried in its life. Its body shook violently. The council gasped. Even the youngest aliens, who had never seen a human before, felt fear creeping into their hearts. This was not just a mind, they realized now, it was a force of nature. Something no alien could measure, no telepath could handle. The alien's voice broke completely. I cannot understand this. The human stepped forward, just slightly, and the alien felt a pressure, not physical, but mental. A calm, unyielding force that said, "You are not ready. You cannot see everything yet." The alien's hands fell to its sides. It was weak, trembling, defeated not by weapons, not by armies, but by the raw, endless depth of one human's mind. It could feel the power, the resilience, the storm of emotions, and it was terrified. For the first time in its life, the alien realized that the stories were true. Humans were dangerous. Not because of their bodies, not because of their weapons, but because of what they carried inside their minds, their memories, their unbreakable will. The council remained silent, unable to move or speak. The alien slowly stepped back, trying to gather what pride it had left. Its body shook, but its eyes betrayed the fear growing inside. The human watched, silent and calm. No words were spoken, but the message was clear. Strength was not measured by size or power. It was measured by the mind. By endurance. By courage. The alien's thoughts raced. Could it survive this? Could any alien survive this? It did not know. It only knew one thing: it had never faced anything like this before. And the human was only standing there, still calm, still silent, still dangerous. The council whispered, barely audible. One human, just one, and yet it is stronger than our greatest telepath. The alien dropped to the floor, finally unable to withstand the storm any longer. Its mind reeled. Its body trembled. It had faced countless creatures, countless civilizations, and never had it felt so weak, so small, so utterly unprepared. And all the human did was exist. The alien lay on the floor, trembling. Its mind still reeled from the storm of thoughts it had just touched. Every nerve felt on fire. Yet, something inside it whispered, "I must see more. I must understand." It pushed itself up, shaking, every muscle protesting. The human stood still, calm, almost waiting. That stillness was worse than movement. It carried power, confidence, and something the alien could not name. The alien reached again, this time more carefully. Its mind extended like thin threads of light, searching, probing, daring to enter the hidden depths of the human consciousness. At first, there was only darkness. A quiet, calm place. The alien thought, finally, a mind I can read. But the darkness was a lie. Beneath it, deeper than any alien mind had ever gone, something stirred. Something ancient, endless. Memories poured in, flashes of distant planets, of humans walking through fire, running through rain, crying over loss, yet never giving up. The alien could feel their courage as if it were a living thing, wrapping around its mind like chains, binding it. Then came pain. Not just simple pain, but deep, crushing grief. Losses of friends, families, entire cities. Faces burned into the alien's mind. Screams filled its consciousness. It tried to step back, but it could not. The human's mind held it tight, drawing it deeper, showing it everything. The alien gasped, staggering backward. Its pride screamed at it to stop, to retreat. Yet something inside it, curiosity, defiance, or madness, forced it forward again. It had to see the truth. And then it saw them. Generations of humans, in memory and spirit. They fought wars without weapons, climbed mountains without strength, explored oceans and stars when everything seemed hopeless. Every act of courage, every small kindness, every sacrifice, formed a network, a web of strength the alien had never imagined. The alien's mind felt like it was being pulled apart, thread by thread. It tried to scream, tried to push back, but the more it struggled, the deeper it sank. Images of humans standing against impossible odds, surviving disasters, facing death and smiling, these images burned themselves into its mind. The council gasped. Even the elders, who had lived centuries and seen countless battles, could feel the alien's fear. Something about this human mind was beyond comprehension. And yet, the alien still tried. It dug deeper, reaching for the core of the human's consciousness. That core was dark, silent, and calm. It was empty and full at the same time. The alien could feel the weight of countless decisions, choices, mistakes, and victories all at once. It was a mind that carried entire histories, entire civilizations, entire wars. The alien's body shook violently. Its hands trembled, and its knees gave way. How can one mind hold this much? It thought, almost losing its voice. This is impossible. No being can carry so much. Images flashed faster, stronger. The alien saw humans standing in ruined cities, lifting each other from rubble. It saw them wandering endless deserts, fighting creatures no alien could imagine, refusing to die even when death was certain. The alien's mind reeled, its thoughts fracturing under the sheer force of it all. And then came something worse, emotions it could not name. Pride, defiance, sorrow, love, hate, rage, hope all at once, all flowing like a tidal wave through the alien's consciousness. It fell to the floor, clutching its head, whispering incoherently, "I cannot survive this." The council watched in horror. Never had they seen a telepath so broken. Never had they imagined a mind could be like this. They whispered among themselves. One human, one, and yet. Their words trailed off. Even they did not have answers. The alien's voice finally broke through, weak, trembling, almost incomprehensible. No mind should hold this. The human moved slightly. Not in anger, not in pride, just a small step forward. The alien felt it, felt the calm, quiet power, the unyielding will. Its mind wanted to resist, but the human's presence pressed down like an invisible weight. The alien realized the truth, slowly, horrifyingly. Humans were not just strong, they were terrifying. Their minds were oceans, their will unbreakable. No alien telepath, no matter how skilled, could measure them. They were something else. Something beyond calculation. Something frighteningly alive. The alien tried to pull away, but its mind was entangled, locked into the human's depths. Every attempt to retreat only pulled it deeper. Every thought, every memory, every feeling of the human wrapped around it, pushing, challenging, revealing more. It was not just knowledge. It was not just emotion. It was power. Silent, hidden, impossible to fight. The alien's body collapsed. It lay trembling, gasping, unable to understand. Its pride, its skill, its years of training useless. The human had shown it something no alien had ever seen, a mind that could never be broken, a spirit that could never be defeated. The human's eyes were calm, silent, unshakable. The alien felt that power, that storm, even without words. And in that moment, the alien understood something terrifying. Humans were not to be measured by their bodies, by their weapons, or by what they said. They were measured by what lived inside them. And inside was an abyss. The alien's mind was a storm. Every memory it had ever known, every thought it had ever held, felt tiny compared to the human's consciousness. Its hands shook, its knees wobbled, and sweat poured down its face. But still, something inside it screamed to go deeper. I must understand. I must see everything, the alien thought. Pride battled fear. Curiosity battled terror. Every part of its being wanted to retreat, but its mind, the same mind that had conquered hundreds, refused to give up. It stretched its telepathic threads further, daring to probe the human's inner world. And immediately, It was hit by a wall of emotion so raw, so powerful, it felt like fire in its brain. Pain, loss, rage, hope, love, grief. Every feeling, every memory, every thought it had ever tried to master, all came at once. It staggered, but the human remained still, calm, watching. Eyes unblinking. Face unreadable. The alien realized the truth. It was not touching a mind, it was touching a universe. The alien's teeth clenched. Its head spun. Its claws dug into the floor. How can one mind hold so much? It thought. How can one creature carry endless battles, endless deaths, endless hope, and still remain standing? Images flashed faster. Humans climbing mountains while the ground shook beneath them. Children running through burning cities. Mothers lifting fallen soldiers. Explorers walking into unknown stars. Each image stabbed the alien's consciousness, forcing it to see, feel, and understand. Pain shot through its chest. Its voice broke. No, no, this is impossible, it gasped. The council gasped along with it. Silence filled the hall. The alien's breakdown was more than physical, it was mental, emotional, spiritual. No one had ever seen such a thing. And yet, the human remained unmoved. Silent. Calm. Dangerous. The alien tried to pull back. Its hands reached toward the ground, its legs threatened to give way. But the human's mind would not let go. Threads of consciousness wrapped around the alien's thoughts, holding, forcing, challenging. Then came the memories it could not bear. Entire cities destroyed. Entire armies lost. Families wiped from existence. And through it all, humans never gave up. They survived. They fought. They adapted. They endured. Each moment burned into the alien's mind like fire, searing it with a truth it could not escape. The alien screamed, not out loud, but in its own mind. Pain, fear, and horror tangled with admiration, confusion, and awe. It fell to the floor, trembling violently. Its chest heaved. Its eyes darted around, trying to escape, trying to find something, anything, to anchor itself, but there was nothing. The council leaned closer, whispering, horrified. One human, one, and it can break the strongest telepath in our ranks. Even the elders could not hide the fear creeping into their hearts. The alien's voice cracked. Weak. Broken. I cannot survive this. And then, something new appeared. The alien felt an emotion it had never felt before, humility. Awe. Terror mixed with respect. It realized that humans were not just a simple species, as everyone had believed. They were something else. Something impossible to measure. Something terrifying. The human's eyes stayed on it, calm and quiet. No words. No anger. No triumph. Just the silent certainty of one who has endured everything and will endure more. The alien felt that certainty pressing into its mind like a weight it could not lift, a storm it could not outrun. Its hands fell to the floor. Its legs shook. Its mind reeled. Every skill, every lesson, every battle it had ever fought seemed meaningless in the face of this human. Pride crumbled. Strength faltered. Everything it thought it knew about power, about mind, about fear, everything was gone. The alien tried one last time to push forward. To see the human's limits. But it could not. Its mind shattered at the edges. Thoughts tangled, fractured. Pain, rage, sorrow, hope all collided until the alien's consciousness trembled like glass about to break. It finally realized the truth, horrifying and undeniable. Humans were not weak. They were not fragile. They were terrifying. Every scar, every memory, every act of survival was a weapon more powerful than anything an alien could imagine. The alien fell completely to the ground, body trembling, mind reeling, pride shattered. For the first time in its life, it understood something terrifying. This human's mind was an abyss. And looking into it was like looking into the heart of a storm, beautiful, chaotic, and deadly. The human took one step forward, and the alien felt it not physically, but in every fiber of its being. A silent warning, a quiet power, a force the alien could neither fight nor escape. The council gasped again. One human, standing silently, had brought their greatest telepath to the brink of collapse. And all it did was exist, watch, and be. The alien could not speak, could not move, could not understand. It could only stare, trembling, as the human's calm presence filled the hall with quiet, terrifying power. And in that moment, the alien realized the terrifying truth: humans were not to be underestimated. They were not to be fought with weapons or strategy alone. They were something else entirely, an unmeasurable, unstoppable force hiding inside a fragile body. And the alien had just touched it. The alien's body shook violently. Its knees hit the cold metallic floor. Every breath came in ragged gasps. Sweat poured down its face, and its hands clutched at its head as if trying to hold its mind together. The council watched in stunned silence. No one had ever seen a telepath in such a state. Some of the younger aliens hid their faces, afraid of what they were witnessing. Even the elders, who had survived wars and conquered countless worlds, felt a cold shiver run down their spines. The alien had always been proud of its gift. It had never failed. It had always been in control. But now, it was powerless. The human's mind had broken through every defense, every shield, every trick it had ever learned. And the alien knew, deep down, that it could never recover fully from what it had seen. The human stood a few steps away, calm and silent. Its presence alone was enough to dominate the room. No anger. No pride. Just a quiet, unwavering strength that pressed into the alien's mind and made it tremble. The alien tried to rise, to regain some control, but its limbs refused to cooperate. Its body felt heavy, as though the weight of 1,000 memories had settled on its shoulders. Its mind spun, unable to escape the flood of images, emotions, and thoughts that the human carried effortlessly. For a moment, the alien thought it might faint. But even fainting was impossible. The human's mind held it firmly, a storm it could not outrun. Pain, grief, courage, love, hate all collided inside the alien's head until it felt like its very essence was being torn apart. The council's whispers grew louder. One human, just one, and it has done this. The words trailed off, as none of them could comprehend the reality unfolding before their eyes. The alien let out a weak cry, almost animalistic in its intensity. Its voice shook, cracking with fear and disbelief. I cannot survive this, it gasped. And then it happened. The alien's knees buckled, and it fell fully to the floor. Its body trembled uncontrollably, unable to hold itself upright. Its mind was collapsing under the weight of what it had seen. The council leaned forward, horrified, as the telepath writhed slightly, eyes wide, struggling to process the impossible reality. The human took another step, calm and deliberate. The room seemed to grow quieter, heavier, as if the very air itself recognized the power standing there. The alien could feel it, not physically, but deep inside, in the core of its being. It was the presence of a mind so vast, so unbreakable, that no training, no skill, no experience could ever prepare any creature for it. The alien's hands shook. Its claws dug into the floor. It tried to speak, but its voice failed. It wanted to warn the council, to tell them what it had experienced, but words could not capture the enormity of what it felt. The human did not move quickly. It did not raise its voice. It simply existed. And in that existence, it held more power than any weapon, any army, any alien could imagine. The alien's mind finally gave in. It slumped forward, resting its forehead against the cold floor. Its thoughts were scattered, chaotic, broken. Pride, skill, control all gone. All that remained was a raw, trembling awareness of the human's terrifying strength. The council could barely breathe. Some whispered prayers under their breaths. Others stared, frozen, unable to comprehend that one human, standing still, silent, had brought their greatest telepath to the brink of ruin. The alien raised its head slightly, and its eyes, wide and shaking, met the human's gaze. And in that gaze, it saw not arrogance, not malice, not pride, but the truth. Humans were not weak. Humans were not fragile. Humans were terrifying. Every scar they bore, every loss they endured, every battle they survived had forged a mind, a spirit, a will that could not be broken. And the alien had felt it, had touched it, and now understood the enormity of what it had confronted. It whispered, almost inaudibly, "I have never seen anything like this." The human said nothing. It simply turned slightly, surveying the room with calm eyes, leaving behind an invisible mark of power that made every alien present feel small, weak, and afraid. The alien collapsed fully, trembling on the floor. Its pride lay shattered. Its strength felt useless. Its skill had failed. And in that moment, every alien in the council understood a terrifying truth. Humans were not to be measured by size, weapons, or skill. They were measured by the depth of their minds, the strength of their spirit, and the courage of their hearts. And that depth was endless. The human stepped back slightly, still silent, still calm. Its presence alone left a lingering warning in the air, a silent message that every alien understood without words. Humans could not be controlled. Humans could not be predicted. Humans were something else entirely. The alien shivered, trembling on the floor. It had survived, technically. Its body was intact, its life still present. But its mind, its confidence, its pride, had been broken in ways that would never heal. And that realization was far more terrifying than any weapon, any army, any alien could ever unleash. The council finally moved, but they did so cautiously. Fear lingered like a shadow over the hall. Every alien present knew they had witnessed something historic, something terrifying, something that would be remembered for centuries. One human, standing silently, had brought the strongest telepath to collapse. And the lesson was clear: the mind of a human was an abyss. And staring into it was far more dangerous than any battle, far more deadly than any weapon. The alien shivered again, whispering, I cannot understand it." And the human simply stood there, calm, silent, terrifying, leaving a mark that would echo in the minds of all who had witnessed it for the rest of their lives. The alien lay on the cold floor, trembling, its mind shattered and broken. It had survived the human's touch, but surviving was nothing compared to understanding. The storm of thoughts, memories, and emotions it had felt was more than any telepath could endure. The council watched in stunned silence. Even the elders, who had faced countless wars, never felt such fear. Whispers filled the room, low and fearful. One human, and it has done this." The human stood still, silent, calm. Not a muscle moved. Not a word escaped its lips. And yet, its presence pressed into every alien in the hall, reminding them that they were small, fragile, and limited. The alien lifted its head slightly, looking at the human. And in that moment, it understood something terrifying, something profound. Humans carried pain in their blood. They carried loss in their bones. They carried grief in their memories. Every scar, every wound, every failure, every death had built a mind of unimaginable strength. It was a mind that had survived disasters no alien could imagine, a spirit that had endured horrors beyond comprehension, a will that refused to break under any weight. The alien shivered, realizing the truth. Humans were not weak. They were not fragile. They were not simple creatures to be measured or conquered. They were something else entirely. Something terrifyingly strong. Memories flashed in the alien's mind, humans standing in burning cities, carrying each other from rubble. Humans wandering through deserts with nothing but courage. Humans facing monsters, armies, and disasters without fear. Humans fighting, surviving, and rising again and again. It was not bravery alone. It was endurance. Persistence. A refusal to give in. Humans had survived things no alien could even imagine, and yet they still moved forward, still stood tall, still dared to hope. The alien's body trembled as the realization settled. Every life it had seen, every mind it had touched, every creature it had conquered, all paled in comparison to the quiet, terrifying strength of the human standing before it. The council gasped. Whispers turned to shocked murmurs. The elders exchanged fearful glances. They had always believed humans were fragile. They had always thought humans could be controlled, measured, predicted. And now, in one brief moment, everything they believed had been shattered. The alien tried to speak. Its voice was weak, trembling, barely audible. I understand, Now, they are not weak. The human did not respond. It did not need to. Its silence spoke louder than any words. The truth had been revealed not by speech, not by weapons, not by action, but by existence. The alien had touched the human's mind, and in doing so, it had seen the impossible. Fear rose in the alien. Not fear of death, not fear of battle, but fear of what humans carried inside. If one mind could hold so much, then what could a human army do? What could a human civilization unleash if pushed to its limits? The possibilities were endless and terrifying. The alien shivered again. Its pride, its confidence, its sense of superiority all lay broken on the floor. It had believed it was strong, it had believed it understood minds, and yet one human had proven it utterly powerless. The human stepped slightly forward. The alien felt the pressure, not in its body, but in its very mind. A quiet, unyielding force that said, "We endure. We survive. We rise. And we do not break." The alien realized something else, horrifying and humbling: humans were unpredictable. Their strength was not just in memory, will, or courage, it was in their spirit, their ability to endure and adapt, their refusal to be measured or tamed. They could not be fully understood. They could not be fully conquered. They could only be witnessed. The council looked on, pale and silent. They had watched the alien break, and now they understood why. One human had shown them the truth. One human had revealed the impossible depth of their species. One human had stood still and revealed strength that no alien could challenge. The alien slowly bowed its head, a gesture of both exhaustion and respect. It had failed, yes, but it had also seen the truth. Humans were not weak. They were not fragile. They were terrifying, in ways no alien could ever predict. The human finally moved slightly, turning to leave. Every step was calm, deliberate, and unthreatening. And yet, the weight of its presence lingered in the hall long after it had moved. The council remained frozen. They had witnessed history. They had seen the impossible. And they now knew, with absolute certainty, that humans were a force unlike any other in the galaxy. The alien whispered again, barely audible, trembling. They carry everything, every pain, every loss, every victory, inside them, and they survive, and they never break. The human walked away, leaving the alien on the floor, broken and trembling. And as it left, every alien in the hall understood one terrifying truth: humans were not to be underestimated. Humans were not to be measured by strength or skill alone. Humans carried something infinitely more dangerous inside: the depth of their minds, the endurance of their spirits, and the courage of their hearts. And that truth was frightening beyond imagination. The hall remained silent long after the human had stepped back. The alien telepath still lay on the floor, trembling, sweat dripping down its face. Its mind had been broken by the sheer force of what it had touched. It had survived, but survival felt meaningless. The human had shown something no alien could ignore. The Council of Elders looked at each other in shock. Whispers passed through the room like a wave of fear. If one human can do this, what about more? What about an entire army? What about the whole species? The words hung in the air, heavy and terrifying. No one spoke them out loud, but every alien present understood the implication. Humans were not weak. They were not fragile. They were not predictable. They were something entirely different, something dangerous. Something unstoppable. The alien telepath tried to rise. Its body shook violently, knees trembling, claws digging into the floor for support. Pride had always been its armor, but now pride offered no protection. It had seen the impossible. It had felt it. And it feared it. The youngest aliens in the hall huddled together. They had never seen humans before, and yet in this one encounter, they understood the truth. One human had shattered the mind of the greatest telepath among them. And it had done so without a weapon, without violence, without anger. It had simply existed. The council's leader finally spoke, voice low and trembling. This changes everything." His words barely carried through the room. Every elder's eyes were wide with fear. We cannot underestimate them. Not ever again. Across the galaxy, similar reactions were spreading. Scouts and messengers reported strange encounters with humans. Reports of their endurance, their courage, their ability to survive impossible odds began to circulate. Fear grew quietly, but rapidly. One by one, alien leaders began to realize humans were unlike anything they had faced before. The alien telepath lay on the floor, still trembling, thinking back to what it had experienced. The human's mind had been endless, a storm, a universe, an abyss. The alien had never known fear like this. Fear not for its life, but for its understanding, for its very perception of what strength could be. The council began to debate strategies. Weapons. Ineffective. Tactics. Limited. Mind probes. The telepath had failed. Humans could endure, adapt, and rise again. Every plan they had relied upon now seemed fragile, like paper against fire. Whispers of panic spread quietly among the younger members. If one human can do this, one whispered, shivering. If one human can break our strongest mind, another shook his head. What hope do we have? The alien telepath, finally finding its voice, spoke weakly. They carry everything inside. Pain, loss, grief, but also hope, courage, strength. And they never break. Ever. No matter what we do, they endure. A heavy silence followed. Every alien present felt the weight of that truth. The room, once filled with confidence and pride, now pulsed with fear. The human species had been underestimated for centuries. And now the galaxy knew the cost of that mistake. Even the elders, with centuries of experience, could not shake the image of the calm human standing before the broken telepath. One human, standing silently, had changed their perception of the entire species. Reports from distant worlds continued to arrive. Humans surviving natural disasters, hostile planets, starvation, disease, and war, all without breaking, all without surrendering. Every story added to the growing fear. It spread like wildfire across alien civilizations. Humans were not just survivors, they were something more. Something terrifying. The council realized they needed a new approach. Caution, intelligence, strategy, but also respect. Humans could not be measured by size, weapons, or technology alone. They could only be measured by what lived inside them. And that was frightening beyond anything the galaxy had seen. The alien telepath whispered again, almost to itself, trembling. They are unstoppable, and they know no fear. Nothing can break them. The council nodded silently. Fear had settled in their hearts. Respect had grown alongside it. One human had revealed what an entire species could carry. And the galaxy would never forget it. Outside the hall, across the stars, the news spread. Alien worlds began to question their strategies, their alliances, their assumptions. Humans had proven themselves unpredictable, unbreakable, and unstoppable. And deep inside every alien, a thought grew: we have never truly faced a force like this. Not ever. And now, we must be careful. The human's presence had sent a ripple across the galaxy. One small, silent step had unleashed fear, respect, and awe all at once. And the alien telepath, trembling on the floor, understood the truth better than anyone else. The humans were not just a species, they were a storm waiting to strike. The council remained in silence, staring at the floor where the alien lay broken. They had learned something that would haunt them forever. Humans were not to be underestimated. Humans were not to be conquered easily. Humans were something else entirely. And that knowledge spread, quietly but relentlessly, across the galaxy, like the first warning of a coming storm. The hall was quiet. The alien telepath lay on the cold floor, trembling, broken, and exhausted. Its mind had been touched by the human and shattered beyond repair. Even the strongest among their kind could not have survived it. The council remained silent, frozen by the weight of what they had just witnessed. One human, standing calmly, had rewritten everything they thought they knew about power, strength, and fear. And the terrifying truth was now clear: humans were not weak. Humans were unstoppable. The human had not spoken a single word, had not lifted a finger, had not used a weapon. And yet, the presence alone had left every alien in the room shaken, aware of a power they could not measure, could not predict, could not control. The alien telepath lifted its head slightly, eyes wide, voice trembling. I have seen everything, and yet I cannot. Its words trailed off into silence. It could not finish the sentence. No words could contain the enormity of what it had experienced. The council whispered among themselves, fear and awe mixed in their voices. One human, and it has changed everything. Outside the hall, word began to spread. Across planets, through fleets, in every corner of the galaxy, aliens talked of the encounter. One human had brought the greatest telepath to its knees. One human had revealed a mind, a spirit, a force unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The fear spread quietly but swiftly. Leaders debated, scientists wondered, soldiers trembled. What weapon could fight a mind like that? What army could challenge a species that carried so much inside them? Every thought led to the same conclusion. Humans were unpredictable, unbreakable, and utterly dangerous. The alien telepath, still trembling, whispered again, barely audible. They carry everything, every loss, every pain, every victory, inside, and they endure, they never break. The council nodded silently, the weight of the realization pressing down on them. Humans were not just survivors, they were something more. Something terrifying. Something no alien could underestimate. The human stood still, a silent figure in the center of the hall. Calm, quiet, unyielding. Its eyes carried nothing but truth. A truth that every alien understood without words. Humans were forces of nature. They could not be measured. They could not be controlled. They could not be defeated easily. And then, as quietly as it had entered, the human turned and left. Its presence lingered like a shadow, a silent warning that echoed in every mind, every heart, every corner of the galaxy. The council remained frozen. The alien telepath on the floor tried to rise, tried to speak, but it was too late. Its pride was gone. Its confidence shattered. Its understanding of power forever changed. Across the stars, fear spread. The encounter became legend in every alien world. The story of one human, standing silently, breaking the mind of the greatest telepath, traveled faster than any fleet, louder than any cannon, sharper than any weapon. Every alien, from the smallest scout to the greatest elder, knew the truth. Humans were not ordinary. Humans were not simple. Humans were dangerous because of what they carried inside. The human did not look back. It did not smile, did not boast, did not celebrate. It simply walked away, leaving behind silence and fear. And in that silence, the galaxy understood one undeniable truth: humans were the storm no one could stop. The alien telepath whispered one final time, voice broken, trembling, We have never faced anything like this. Never, never. And as the echo of that statement faded through the hall, the council realized that the human's presence was more than a warning, it was a message. One human had shown them what an entire species could carry. One human had revealed that strength was not in weapons, not in armies, not in technology. It was in the mind. In the spirit. In the unbreakable heart. The hall remained quiet, the fear lingering like smoke after a fire. And every alien who had witnessed it knew one thing for certain: humans were not to be underestimated. Humans were not to be challenged lightly. Humans were a force the galaxy had never seen before. And the human had left them with a silent warning that would echo across the stars for centuries. A warning that one day, perhaps, would be remembered as the moment the galaxy realized it was never ready for humanity.